Hi, and welcome to BERNINA Click and Create. I'm Judy Hahner, and in this online project, Big Embroidery Applique is the feature technique. The project is a monogrammed garden flag. Are you an applique lover? And do you like large applique embroidery designs? Then this is the project for you. The applique garden flag was stitched out using the BERNINA E16 multi-needle embroidery machine. All these great features make it very easy and quick. It's one-of-a-kind garden flag that allows you the freedom to be creative, but it can be easily stitched and constructed in just a few hours of our precious sewing time. So let's get started. Even though multi-needle looks a little more sophisticated and maybe even a little more complicated than a single needle machine, it really isn't. It has more needles, but they're only stitching one at a time. The beauty is we have 16 of them, so that allows us 16 different thread colors that are ready for use as you're doing your embroidery. So it really comes down to embroidery efficiency. The machine does only embroidery and it does it well. Another great advantage is the large hoop. So while the machine makes it quick and easy, it also makes it easier for us to do large designs in just one hooping. It has a feature where the machine will stop. We call it an applique stop. And not only does it stop stitching and allow us to reposition fabric or put it into place, it also rolls that hoop out and presents itself that it makes it much easier for us to position our fabrics. Now, large designs can be embroidered beautifully on other machines, but the bigger the hoop, the less number of times you're going to need to rehoop to accomplish your embroidery project. So how do you make the project? Well, there are some fabrics and notions you'll need to gather up. In the example that is used here, I did use burlap, but duck cloth or a bottom weight are a great choice as well. You'll also need backing fabric. I did finish the edges of mine. Some scraps for creating the appliques. Fusible web, such as Steam-A-Seam 2. You'll need one that kind of has almost a tacky surface to it, so when you put it into place, it will stay in place. Heavyweight cutaway stabilizer. Isocord embroidery thread is what I used. Serger or sewing thread. This is for assembling the project. Rotary cutter, ruler, and mat are very helpful in preparation. Scissors. A Sharpie or other drawing utensil. Might need to put a few marks into place. Pins or clover wonder clips, those work great, and then a garden flag pole that's about 12.5 by 18 inches. Preparing the fabric, your cutting instructions, you're going to cut one piece for the front that's 20 by 20. That allows us to hoop it in the 43 by 43 large hoop for the E16. And then you'll cut the same size of a heavyweight cutaway stabilizer. You're going to make an embroidery sandwich using the front fabric and the stabilizer. The last piece that you need to cut is from your backing fabric. It will be cut 15 by 18, and then after embroidery, we'll actually cut our front down to that size when we come to assembly. So you're going to set that aside till a little bit later. Now we have to prepare the embroidery design. With this design, I combined a couple different designs. One was from the BERNINA exclusive Beloved Heirlooms. I actually took a portion of it and created an applique shape using one of the designs. And then the lettering comes from the Curls alphabet by Pickle Pie Designs. So as you can see, I used BERNINA Embroidery Software 7 to let me set everything up. I did go ahead and grab this design, and we'll see how I used that to create the applique shape for an accent shape. And then again, the split Curls alphabet allows us to get very creative, and I used the largest design that she has available in this collection, which was a 6 by 10 design. So setting up the design was done very easily with BERNINA Embroidery Software 7. I am going to walk you through the steps here in the PowerPoint presentation or our recording here, but I also recorded a step-by-step in the software so that you can use that very easily and follow along with me as you create your design at home. In the designing software, we edit an existing embroidery design. We are going to create an applique design. That is this piece. We create it as an applique. We're going to duplicate the shape and then position it so that we see that it creates a frame here. We're going to combine those designs with the split curls alphabet. We're going to add the lettering to personalize it, and then I'll show you just a little bit that if you are using one of the smaller large hoops, whether it be the jumbo, the maxi, or the mega hoop, you could use the multiple hooping option in the software to split that design for you for your stitch out. So to create the applique corner design, the first step is to purchase the Beloved Heirlooms Design Collection, and then in the folder, locate design number 8201508. Once you've located it, you're going to open it, and it'll be here on our screen. Go ahead and turn off the artistic view so that we can see our stitches and know what we're selecting, because we'll get the magenta coloring here. If you hold down the Alt key and merely select the second color block, that will give us the piece that we need to create our applique shape. Once you have it selected, you're going to choose to copy it, select New, and in the New sheet, you're going to paste it right into the screen here. So now it's on your desktop in your work area, and we're ready to apply the applique features to it. So we're going to change the size of it. Make sure that proportional sizing is selected, and change your width to 5.82 inches. Open up the object properties. In the satin stitch, which is the outline stitch, you're going to change the satin width to 0.15. It is at 0.11 inches. We're going to change it to 0.15 inches. Now we're ready to turn it into an applique. So in the digitize tools and in our toolbox, go down to Advanced Applique and open up the screen. And we're going to place fabric and color in the patches. So we select the area that we want to apply the applique command to. We locate a fabric. It doesn't matter what color chip you use. This is just a process to let the software know we want to create an applique. It does not matter what fabric we use. We could also use a color in the patches as well. But we select the fabric, we click on the fabric chip, and then we click on the design patch in the screen. Then we select back. We are going to choose to set properties manually, and we're going to click on the design and change the tack down width to 12.12 inches. Select back and select close. From the menu bar, with your outline selected, your design selected, from the drop down in the design, go to Auto Start and End. We're going to change the start and stop point in this design. And we'll change it to the first stitch of the design for the start needle position, and the end needle position will also be the last stitch of the design. And then select OK. Let's go ahead and save our new applique shape. So we'll go to File, Save As, save it as Applique Corner 1. Now, it's time to create the applique shape. We have our one shape, and if we go ahead and we mirror merge it horizontally, we're going to use mirror merge to create it. So our first step would be right click on the show hoop icon. And then we're going to select the hoop that we'll be using to set up our design. Ours will be the E16 43 by 43. And you're going to want to check the Show Hoop icon. You're also going to want to position it manually. So check that. And then check OK. Select the applique, and I want you to rotate it 45 degrees left 3 times so that it becomes into this position. It's our upper right corner. We want to show the grid, so click Show Grid, and then zoom it so that we can see our work area. We're going to take this applique shape and move it to the upper right quadrant of the hoop so that it positions itself about 1 grid square approximately from your X and your Y line. We're going to select File and Save As, and this time it's going to be Corner Applique 2. What we're saving is that we've repositioned it, we've rotated it, and now it's in the working order. If we needed to go back and start again, we wouldn't have to go clear back to the beginning. With it selected, we're going to go to Mirror Merge, and we want to select Mirror Merge Horizontal. Once it's selected, you see we have ghosts or duplicates of our original. We haven't placed them yet, so they're just merely ghosts. Align the X and the Y of the hoop and the mirror. Once you have them aligned, then you can click to confirm the position. Then we're going to select File, Save As, Corner Applique Frame 1, and close that design. So here is our design saved and ready to go. We'll close it because we're going to insert it later. Now let's combine the Monogram Applique. Open the Split Alphabet Applique folder. Locate the art files. From that selection, go ahead and locate the art format of the 6x10 size letter that you'll be using. In my instance, I'll be using an H as I used for the example. But again, you want to locate and select the 6x10 because that's our largest lettering. Make sure that you have the E16 43 by 43 hoop selected. And what we're going to do now is save it as Garden Flag 1, now that we have our letter onto the screen. Let's right-click on the lettering option under Digitize and go ahead and enter the last name in uppercase. Once that's entered, scroll down until you find Swiss Block. Now you may choose another one, but Swiss Block worked and fit very nicely in this split area. Once you have that selected, we're going to change the height of the letter to 1.125, 1.13, and the spacing to 0.10, and then apply. After you apply, click on the screen and position the last name into that split. Position it both horizontally and vertically. Click OK. Before you deselect the last name, change the color of it. Go to the color palette and choose a different color than the letter, the large split letter. Select Edit, select all, and group this together. Now let's select the file and save this as Garden Flag 2. To complete the design, you are going to select to insert the embroidery, locate your corner applique frame 1, select all, do a select all, and arrange, go down to the arrange items in your toolbox and align the centers. This way your frame and your lettering will align themselves to the center of the hoop. If you couldn't see all of that, go up to your zoom function and go to the selected, because you selected it all, and you'll be able to see everything aligned in the center of your hoop. Select File, Save As, and now you have Garden Flag 3. This will be the design that you will be using for stitching. One hooping and you're ready to stitch. Now, if you're choosing to use another large hoop, maybe a jumbo or a maxi, it will hoop 2 times. If you choose to use a mega hoop, you'll be hooping it 3 times. To create your multiple hoopings, you'll take your design and go into the multiple hooping option, and you will add another hoop and position them till everything is in 2 hoopings. It can calculate the hoopings for you, and then once you've created those and you get ready to save the design again, it will save each one in a separate hooping for you. Same way using the mega hoop. 3 positionings of the hoop and you'll be able to create your applique design, but you will be hooping your item 3 different times. When it stitches out, these multiple hooping options actually creates registration marks in the software as you add your multiple hooping, so you'll be able to line things back up again, and those registration marks stitch at the end of a hooping, and then you'll be able to line them up with the next hooping. For ease and access and being able to follow your design and your colors, printing out the design sheet is a very helpful thing to do in any of your embroidery. So if you go to the print preview icon, it will actually give you the process that your design is going to stitch out. It will help you to assign those applique stops in the E16 operating software. As you can see through here, it tells you which of the color sequences is an applique and a stop needs to be placed, so that then you can put your fabric down as you're continuing to stitch the design. So printing that out is very helpful. The other thing that you'll want to print out is your applique patterns. That can also be done by an Alt key and select the color block in the color film, and then select the print preview, and then only that item will appear. So you've got the print options allows you then to only see the printout for selected objects, and you want the design worksheet can be in artistic view. You want everything to be at 100% of the actual, and you would repeat this process for all your applique shapes. And that way you would have the ability to do your tracing if you like to use the fusible Steam 2 to do your tracings and create your applique shapes. Now, to prepare the fabrics for applique, there's a couple different methods you can use. The pattern method, which our printouts would help with that, or a trim and place method. There's a great ebook series out on Just Embroider It on using applique machine embroidery techniques. That free download is available on BERNINA.com under Experience Embroidery and Embroidery eBooks. So for more information on that preparation part, I'll refer you to the Embroidery Machine Applique ebook. Now let's stitch the embroidery. Everything's ready to go. We need to hoop things up. So in the 43 by 43 wooden hoop, I'm doing this on the E16, I'm going to hoop the 20 by 20 flag front and cutaway stabilizer, and I'll attach the hoop to the machine. Step 2 is I'm going to load the design into the E16. Select the 43 by 43 centimeter rectangle hoop. Once you have the correct hoop selected, the next step will be to open up the color sequence and assign our thread colors. This is where the design worksheet will come in very handy, because we know that after the 3rd sequence we need to put a stop in, because that's going to be where we place fabric into position. So these are the colors in the design. These are the colors that we can assign. We have a palette of 16 different colors, so we have lots of options for assigning our colors. But your design worksheet will be very handy in helping you quickly assign colors. You're going to apply the applique stops in the stitching sequence. So to apply the applique stop, you merely click on the applique stop icon, slide it into position on the sequence where you want the applique to stop after it stitches. So we're sliding it onto number 1, and then it will put it into the position that needs to happen. Applique stops after placement stitching. The design worksheet will show you exactly where appliques will be stitching. So you can have multiple applique stops in a design. It's really, really great. Once it stops, you place the fabric and you hit the start button. It begins stitching once again. Step 3 is going to be just to go ahead and do that. Stitch that applique design out. You'll begin the stitching. Of course, perform a hoop trace. We always do that to make sure we've selected the right hoop in corresponding with the design we have selected. And it will stitch the first placement line. Then the machine's going to stop and move the hoop forward. So we position the applique shapes that the placement lines have been stitched for. Once they're into position, we begin stitching and the hoop will move back into position. You'll continue that process through the whole design until you've completed all of the stitching. Again, multiple stops are easily done in the E16 embroidery software. So to finish that project, now that we have all of our embroidery done, you're going to remove the embroidery from the hoop, and we're going to trim the excess stabilizer around the perimeter of the design, and then also size up and cut the front down to 15 inches by 18, same as our back fabric. With right sides together, pin the sides and the bottom of the flag. Now you can use a serger or you can use the sewing machine to stitch around the 3 sides. I used a serger, quick and easy, finishes the edges. You're going to be stitching about 1/4 inch seam. So with a serger you'll be trimming off minimal amount. And then you're going to turn it right sides out. So it's kind of like a pillowcase right now. And then we flip it right side out. You're going to serge that upper edge, which is the top part of our flag pocket. And then at the sewing machine, we're going to edge stitch using the number 10 foot around the 3 edges that we previously have sewn. So select the triple stitch. It works really, really great with a stitch length of 4.5 and a needle position of 4. The edge stitch foot is one of my favorites because it makes you look so good. You guide right along the edge of whatever it is with the bar, and your stitches are perfectly placed, and you look like you worked really hard at it, but the foot just made the job easy. So stitch the top, the sides, and the bottom of the flag. So making the rod pocket, measure down 2 inches from that top serged edge and fold over to the back, press and pin. You're going to then edge stitch along the pinned edge using the same settings that you previously used for edge stitching. This will create the pocket, and now you're ready to fly your flag out in your yard. These will make great gifts. They can be personalized. What a great shower or wedding gift they could be. There's just a multitude of things that you could do with this fun and easy project. I challenge you to have fun with this and enjoy your time creating a garden flag.